Before we begin, I'd like to thank the Iowa Knife Museum for the loan of these two classic Kizers for review, and Colin Finigan for the eventual beautification and completion of the Titanium Kizer. And see you bitches at Blade Show!
What do we have here? We got the Kizer Geminis. I say Gemini. I heard some sciencey guys that they call them Gemini. I don't know why.
Or Jiminy. What the fuck?
I think Gemini is probably just fine. I don't know why they would say Gemini. I guess it is a G. You could say it like a hard G. I don't know. Who cares? So these two are separated by different materials, for one thing. You can see one's titanium frame lock. So they're separated by their locking mechanism too. This one is the carbon fiber scales over stainless steel liner. So this is a liner lock. I mean, if you weren't aware, if you're new to the knife world, that's the difference between a liner lock and a frame lock. So this is, they call these two halves of the knife the frame. This is the frame and this is the frame, or half a frame, whatever you want to call it. And this half of the frame has the lock built into it. It's just a line cut into the frame and cut up this way, and then the frame, that part of the frame is bent in, and then that locks up against the blade. Here, I'm going to open it. There we go. I moved it out of the way. Now the blade can close. And when the blade opens, it locks over. Watch that part right there. See it lock over? Now it's locked. So that's a frame lock. This is a liner lock. Basically, there's a thin liner on each side of this knife, kind of under these carbon fiber scales, and it does the same thing, but with a thinner piece, basically. So as I move it out of the way, now the knife can close, and then it opens and locks right there. So that's frame lock and your liner lock. Now these are both same size, same exact shape, pretty much. Both of their handles have the same kind of contour to them. They feel the same in the hand, except for this one's a little slicker feeling and heavier. How much heavier is it? Let's see. Let's see what we got here. What are we working with here? So the titanium one is going to be the heavier one. That is 3.6 ounces. So still pretty light for what it is. Full titanium knife with about a 3.3 inch blade. 2.9, so under 3 ounces for this guy. So that's a, noticeable difference. You can definitely notice that. I think you can probably notice about a 1/4 ounce difference in something. And it's something that you can hold in your hand like this, not in like, a gallon of water. You're not going to notice that. But in something that's small, like this, I think you can probably notice about a 1/4 ounce difference. These two are about a 1/2 ounce, a little bit over a 1/2 ounce different. And it's noticeable. I would think a 1/4 ounce, it's going to be right at that edge where, yeah, I can feel it probably, but it gets below that, it's going to be hard to tell. How's the action on these guys? They're both smooth. This guy is a little less smooth. Not as drop shutty or, shake shutty as the other one. Takes some more shaking to get it down. This one's definitely smoother on the way out and the way down. Neither one are drop shutty, and they don't feel like they're going to get drop shutty. Yeah, I'm not sure, how the geometry of that works or whatever. Yeah, that one is definitely not over tightened or anything. Well, we could try to loosen it and see just for the heck of it. Just for the heck of it, let's try. That's the wrong size bit. I think it's this T8. Yeah. So we're just going to try to loosen it and see if I can loosen it or if it spins. Sometimes these things spin. Oh, I was able to loosen it. Okay. That is way too loose. So we'll tighten it until it just stops wobbling. Okay. A little more drop shutty now. Oh, wow. Actually, a lot more drop shutty now. I think it was a little bit over tightened. Very smooth. Very nice. Okay. You know what? Let's try this other one. Because this guy, I think he feels like he's over tightened too. Let's see what we can do with this guy. This one is very tight. We're going to try to make it work. Okay. Are we loose? Very loose. Okay. feels like there's some Loctite in there that is keeping it from coming loose or making it hard to tighten up too. This is an older model, probably getting close back to some of the original batch of this model. It just has the old-fashioned clip that they used to use. They don't use that type anymore. They use this one on all of them. I think the pivot looks different. It's funny, the pivot has a hole at both sides for the T8 wrench. This one only has it on one side because it's locked with a D-shaped pivot, I assume. I'm not sure if this one is, but boy, sure is a hell of a lot smoother now. All right, we're going to take this guy home a little further. Just a hair more. I know this part's boring, I know. But this is what it takes sometimes when you want to get it perfect and you don't want to over-tighten it. You definitely don't want to over-tighten your pivots. If you do, you may crush the bearings into the frame of the knife, and then you'll always have a little bumpiness as the blade moves along. It'll feel like this. It'll feel like bump, 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 bump. And that's if you've over-tightened it or the factory's over-tightened it, and the little ceramic bearings have actually pushed dents into the metal that they ride in. Maybe we'll take this guy apart and check it out, and we'll see if there's any dents in it, if somebody over-tightened it. It is a little smoother now. Could be dirty too. It does look a little dirty down inside. Both great knives. I've reviewed this guy before. The same goes, again, this is one of my favorite Kizers, really. I think they're just really, really well done. They're nothing fancy. There's nothing, crazy about them. Just a nice, simple shape. It is a Ray Laconico design, and his stuff is, always well known for being smooth lines, simplistic design, but, very useful, very well done. Boy, this guy is definitely smoother now. It was just a hair over tightened. Make sure it's not loose. Nope. No slop. Yeah, let's go ahead and tear this guy down because I feel like this should be smoother. If it's got some gunk in the bearings, that would explain it. Although it's moving pretty smooth. So here's one way you can tell if you've got a fairly smooth moving blade is you hold this lock bar over, or the liner lock part. You hold it over, and then you see if your blade will sort of swing back and forth like a pendulum. So this one does. So I think it's probably not too dirty, but we'll find out. Sometimes even just a little drop of oil can help it be smoother too. But we're going to take this guy down, clean it out. Looks like they're all T8s. So I'm going to take this guy down, take it apart, and we're going to do it in slow motion. Or not slow motion, that would be really boring. Even more boring than normal. We're going to do it in fast motion. So I'll just shut up now. So you run into this problem sometimes when you have a barrel. There's a barrel inside here, like a hollow tube with threads in it, and there's a screw in this side and a screw in this side. And once I've taken out the screw in this side, the screw in this side starts to get loose, then the whole barrel inside just turns. Because it's held into the barrel too tight, and that probably means it's Loctited into the barrel or something like that. So what's the answer to that? Hopefully the answer is I take the screw for the other side and screw it back in. And tighten it up pretty good. Give it a good snug tighten. Then try to take this one out. Now, why is that going to be better? I'm still going to be stuck with the same thing. I'm going to be stuck with a screw on one side that is tightened in, and that is going to make the barrel spin. But probably not. So I've probably killed the Loctite on this one now. As you can see, there is some stuff on it. And then this guy already had his Loctite killed when we pulled him out before, so he should come out easily now without the fight. And there it goes. The two halves of the knife are kind of holding the barrel somewhat still, so that keeps it from spinning to some degree. So once you kill the one side's Loctite by pulling it out, the other side will come out after you tighten the first one back in. Just do what I did, that's all. Oh, crud. Okay, that shouldn't have moved like that. Shit. I think there's some kind of little thing that is holding this still, but then sometimes it's riding up off of that thing and not holding still. So it held still for a bit, then it started to spin. So I'm not sure about that. How do I keep it from spinning? I don't know how to keep it from spinning, actually.
The end of part 1. Tune in again next time to find out. Will pry bar knives be able to get that stupid-ass pivot off, or is the knife screwed forever? Pun intended. If he does get it apart, what will we find inside? And finally, how awesome will it look if and when Colin Finigan gets finished making it awesomer? Have a nice day.